Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem Karadash, Barakathon to the elders and apostles or Hakim when I say Shalom. And this is a sit-down lesson of the earthquakes in diverse places as of May 26, 2025 on this Monday afternoon. And this is a news article from Fox and FoxWeather.com as of May 26, 2025 at 4:57 a.m. Eastern Time. It says Memorial Day earthquake shakes San Francisco Bay Area. It says residents in the communities north of San Francisco reporting feeling like shaking when the earthquake struck. It says from San Francisco, it says an earthquake took part of the San Francisco Bay Area on Monday. It says according to the U.S. Geological Survey, the USGS, it says a magnitude of a 3.6 earthquake was reported about 6 miles northeast of Alvarez, California. It says around 1:18 a.m. local time. It says a depth of 2.5 miles. It says reports in the communities of north of San Francisco. It says report feeling like shaking when the earthquake struck. It says so far there have been no reports of damage or injuries. So these are earthquakes in diverse places. And then you had a 5.7 earthquake over in Chile. Yeah, this was 19 hours ago. And then wait for this to load up. And this is a news article from Reuters as of May 26, 2025 degrees. It says a magnitude of a 5.7 earthquake struck Chile. The EMSC says. It says a magnitude of a 5.7 earthquake struck Chile's Tabarasca region on Sunday. The European Mediterranean is in the 19th century. The EMSC says. It says the quake was in a depth of 103 kilometers, 64 miles. EMSC says. And then I say, as of yesterday, you had a 6.0 earthquake over there in Tonga. So we definitely going to be seeing these earthquakes in diverse places. So I'm going to the latest earthquakes. This is from the latest earthquakes from earthquake.usgs.gov. And you had a 3.2 earthquake over there in Alaska. You had a 3.3 earthquake, 51 kilometers east of northeast Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Then you had a 4.4 earthquake in the Philippines. You had a 2.7 earthquake in Puerto Rico. You had a 4.3 earthquake in Japan, 4.5 earthquake in 20 kilometers north of Hanyu, Japan. Then you had a 4.1 earthquake, 43 kilometers east of northeast of Calimán, Chile. And I'm saying that same area, you had a 5.7 earthquake, not too far from that area. And you had a 3.1 earthquake, 85 kilometers north of San Juan, Puerto Rico. 4.1 earthquake was recorded 63 kilometers south and southwest of La Guaira, Guatemala. You had a 4.2 earthquake, 68 kilometers west to southwest of Emboria, of Argentina. And then you had a 3.0 earthquake, 35 kilometers. It says southeast of Nevada. I would say Mandia, Nevada, I meant to say. And then you had a 3.0 earthquake, 22 kilometers west of Pescia, California. And then you had a 4.9 earthquake, 61 kilometers east and southeast. It says Amelio of the Philippines. You had a 4.9 earthquake of north Serbia in Zimbabwe. That's my first time there in that country. And then you had a 5.1 earthquake north of Zimbabwe. It says north of Zimbabwe. You had a 5.1 earthquake recorded 10 kilometers west of Hagrio, Japan. You had a 3.1 earthquake 29 kilometers west of Pescia, California. And then you had a 2.5 earthquake 20 kilometers west of Peninsula, California. And then you had a 2.9 earthquake 14 kilometers southwest of Peninsula, California. And then you had a 4.6 earthquake recorded 31 kilometers west of Peninsula, California. And then you had a 3.8 earthquake 29 kilometers west of Peninsula, California. And then you had a 5.1 earthquake 155 kilometers south and southwest. It says in Manzaria village of Guam. And it says you had a 4.1 earthquake recorded 80 kilometers south and southwest at San Antonio del Montiel Ave Salvador. And then you had a 2.9 earthquake 19 kilometers west of Peninsula, California. And then you had a 3.1 earthquake 96 kilometers northwest of San Antonio, Puerto Rico. And then you had a 4.2 earthquake 55 kilometers west of San Antonio of Chile. And then you had a 5.7 earthquake 32 kilometers south of Candia, Chile. Right, so those are the latest earthquakes in diverse places as of May 26, 2025 on this Monday afternoon. It's the book of Luke 21. This is the book of Luke 21, verse 11. It says, a great earthquake shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence in different sites where sand shall be heavy. Right, so that's the main one. The earthquakes in diverse places. That's the main highlight of the category, with the earthquakes in diverse places. So we're going to be seeing more signs of that. And this is the book of Psalms 18, verse 7. It says, then the earth shook and trembled, and I found this also the hills of the moon was shaken because it was rock. Right, so that's the visitation from the Heavenly Father with these wildfires, volcano eruptions, and these earthquakes in diverse places. And this is Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 2. It says, behold, the power of Yahweh has a mightiness grown, which is a tempest of hell and a sure storm. It says that a mighty waters and overflowing should cast down to the earth with their hand. Right, so we're going to see the heavy Father Yahweh visit this earth with these earthquakes, storms, and tempests, and flame by fire, and cast it down with the earth with a mighty hand. That's from the heavenly Father Yahweh. And this is the prophet Isaiah chapter 29, verse 6. It says, thou shalt be visited of Yahweh hosts. It says, with earthquake, with great noise. Yahweh says, thou shalt be visited of Yahweh hosts. It says, with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, and storms and tempests and flame by fire. Right, so that's the visitation from the heavenly Father Yahweh hosts. He visited this earth now somewhere than ever. And this is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, verse 2. It says, then thou shalt understand it is a very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which you made. Right, the highest was the heavenly Father Yahweh is going to visit this earth now somewhere than ever, especially with these earthquakes. 2nd Esdras 9, verse 3. It said, therefore, there should be seen earthquakes and uproars from the world. Right, so more increasing earthquakes and more uproars from the world. So with that, this was just a quick sit-down lesson of the earthquakes in diverse places as of May 26, 2025 on this Monday afternoon. So with that, hopefully this was edifying. And with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Kakadash. And Heavenly Father, in your name is Yahweh. In his own begotten Son, Ba'ashem, in the name of Mashiach Yahweh. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Lashma Kadash of the tongue. And I say with rock thumbs, the elders and apostles will Hakim Akwa. Until next time, I will say Shalom.